And I just wanted to tell you guys that everything was planned from day one. I decided to hop on here. It was a small cycle, 300 EQ, 300 tests, 300 mass drone, a little bit of Anavar and MK as well. And I did this for 16 months. I planned everything all along because I knew I was gonna, Greg was gonna make a video on me at some point. So as soon as it was the 16-month line, I hopped off and, reached out to Greg.
All right, so everything you just saw in the last video with Greg was a joke. It was planned to be a video where me and Greg make fun of everyone that's saying that I'm not natural because it just doesn't make sense.
Greg Doucette just pulled one of the dirtiest moves I've seen in the fitness community. He didn't just troll, he lied. He doubled down and he dragged Jeff Nippard through the mud. And then he laughed it off while plugging his merch and his Turk. This isn't a joke, it's reputational sabotage disguised as content. I'd like to take the time to apologize to Jeff. Although Hussein is allegedly back to not being a fake natty, my point still stands. Jeff brought the limelight to some shady characters with debatable physiques. Someone willing to lie about lying is not someone who can be trusted at just their word. Again, I'm really sorry Jeff got duped, but I think he needs to take this time to orient away from drama content. Now, Coach Greg, he's a prolific liar, a man who trolls for fun. But in this case, I believe he's gone way too far. This isn't just harmless trolling, it's blatant lying. And worse, he's lying at the expense of other people's reputations. Now, trolling in many people's minds can be seen as harmless. It's a quick joke here and there, a bait and switch video, or maybe some tongue-in-cheek misdirection before a surprise punchline. But Greg Doucette calling his own business partner Hussein a fake natural. That is not trolling. That is not satire. That is a direct claim made publicly across multiple comments. Not only that, he doubled down on them repeatedly. And then to reveal later that it was just a big joke, guys, some kind of troll. No, this isn't trolling. This isn't funny. That's lying about lying. And then they expect you, the viewer, to go along with it, to laugh at it, and then to trust them enough to buy their supplements, their merch, and their programs? That's disgusting. Not only is it disgusting, it's sickening, because it actively harms people beyond just Greg himself. Let's start with Jeff Nippard. Yes, again, my last video covered that Jeff has his own flaws. His videos aren't perfect, and I've criticized him already. But to essentially drag his reputation through the mud by confirming that one of the people that he's collabed with, Hussein, was secretly on steroids, that creates a storm of hate that Jeff had to personally address. He was forced to respond with his post because of Greg's quote-unquote joke made him look complicit, deceptive, and dishonest. Think about that. Jeff Nippard is out here making educational fitness content. He's trying to stay in his own lane, and yes, he got tangled up in some drama. But now, Greg's trolling puts him in a position where he's accused of being part of the entire cover-up. It's not funny, and it's definitely not harmless. And here's the thing. When you get dragged into Greg Doucette's drama, it's like wrestling with a pig in the mud. The pig loves it. It thrives in the mud. But you only come out dirty. That's what happened to Jeff. He had to waste his time responding to Greg's nonsense, defending himself and apologizing for accusations and hate that should have never existed in the first place. He didn't win anything. He didn't gain anything. If anything, he lost. He didn't get respect or views. He was disrespected. All he got was splashed in the mud while Greg laughed it off and cashed in on the engagement. Quick pause, guys. If you're finding this breakdown useful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps to push the video out so more people can understand the sickening truth of what's happening in the fitness community. But let's talk about Hussein, because this is where it gets even uglier. Hussein wasn't just a victim of Greg's lies, he was in on the plan. Think about it. Hussein had just collabed with Jeff Nippard, someone who gave him exposure, credibility, and a platform. Instead of respecting that, instead of valuing the opportunity, he turned around and joined Greg in essentially stabbing Jeff in the back. He played along with the lie, he let the narrative build, he let Jeff take the heat with people questioning if Jeff had knowingly promoted a fake natty. And then after the damage was already done, Hussein shows up in a video laughing it off, saying, "We lied about lying." He plugs his merch and he acts like it's some clever prank. That's not loyalty, that's not integrity, that's biting the hand that helped feed you. By siding with Greg on this, Hussein has put his own credibility on the line. He isn't an innocent victim here. He has chosen to actively participate. What makes it worse is because of Greg's recklessness, everybody has teamed up to create drama at Jeff's expense, cashing in on controversy, and expecting everyone to just laugh along with Greg and Hussein. But no, nobody's laughing here. Greg and Hussein also pulled in Scientific Snitch, another creator, and used her as part of this quote-unquote troll. During the so-called reveal, Greg used polymorphism as his scientific-sounding explanation for why Hussein could stay so muscular while supposedly natural after cycling off of steroids. They even had Scientific Snitch make a short video explaining how polymorphism works, giving the whole thing legitimacy. But then came the bait and switch. At the end, Hussein laughs. He says it's fake, it was all a joke, making her look stupid in the process.
Yeah, so apparently this whole Hussein is a fake natural thing is just a publicity stunt and he didn't actually take gear, but honestly I don't know what to believe. And if I'm being really brutally honest, it's not cool that they use the information that I gave them in this publicity stunt on genetic polymorphisms. I gave them this information under the context that the individual is natural and they just grow more muscle than other naturals do. But it's really not cool of them that they use the information that I gave them out of the goodness of my heart, trying to do the good and right thing to help diffuse the natty or not drama, to start even more drama on a publicity stunt I did not even know about.
That's not just disrespectful, it's disgusting. It shows a willingness to throw anyone under the bus. Business partners, collaborators, even fellow creators. If it gets clicks and it sells more supplements.
And so I did that to stir up more controversy and to try to get him more views.
And that reflects horribly, not just on Greg, but now on Hussein as well. Because here's the deeper problem. You can't expect to be trusted when your entire strategy is based on lies. When you claim Hussein's not natty, then later say you lied, then later say you lied about lying, what are people supposed to believe? Are we supposed to just accept that some of what you say is true and some of what you say is lies, and somehow trust you to tell us which is which when it benefits you financially? That is insanity. And let's go over the definition here. Insanity is described as doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Greg lies, he baits, he manipulates, then expects his audience to keep believing him. He lies, causes chaos, then shrugs it off as a troll, and expects people to keep buying his products. He lies about people's reputation, backpedals, and then expects us to simply forget the harm that was caused. It's a really simple cycle. He makes a wild claim, then he doubles down and he lets the controversy grow. Then he brings in his collaborators to make it look even more legit. Then, at the end, he reveals it was a troll or a joke in a video. He plugs his supplements and merch, and then he rinses and repeats. It's not a harmless prank. It's exploitation. He's weaponizing dishonesty for profit, and the fallout is real. It damages Jeff Nippard's reputation. It makes Scientific Snitch look bad. It turns Hussein into a walking question mark, and it erodes all credibility Greg Doucette might once have had. If you made your brand about being brutally honest, about calling out fake naturals, but then lie about your own business partner being on steroids, you've destroyed your own credibility. Why should anyone ever believe a single word you can say again? And then at the very end of his video, Hussein has the audacity to call out other YouTubers and fitness creators.
All of the people that I know, like Connor, Jeff, TNF, made a video on.
Another thing you have to think about is it's like your best friend coming up with a random lie about you. Why would they do that? What reason do they have to lie? What reason does Greg have to randomly lie about Hussein? You might say, oh, it's just a gotcha moment. It's just Greg being Greg. It doesn't matter. These people have to be held accountable or they'll just do it again and again and again. It's morally wrong. It's morally bankrupt. Why is someone like Greg considered a pillar of the fitness community? But here's the problem. Are people supposed to assume that you are lying about lying? If you can't tell the truth about one thing, why should anyone assume you're telling the truth about anything else? This isn't arrogance, it's gaslighting the entire fitness community. You confuse people with lies, you backpedal with jokes, you attack those who hold you accountable, and then you expect everyone to just believe you again when it's convenient. It's not clever, it isn't content, it's just manipulation. This isn't about a gotcha moment. This isn't about haha fooled you. This is about the ethical breakdown of content creators who decide that engagement is more important than honesty, that trolling is more important than trust, and that profits are more important than people's reputations. If you want more breakdowns like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next time someone else in the fitness world thinks lying is just good content.